Hi, everybody on Discord again.
Yep. Sorry for the delay.
Yes, praise Yah. Our tech guy, Isaac, is awesome. He figured out everything. And praying that the Most High just has his hands over the tech. I think we should open in prayer.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Dear Abba, we thank you so much for bringing everyone here to our ministry today and to hear the messages that you've orchestrated, Abba God. We thank you so much for everyone who supports our ministry, and we just want to help bring people closer to you, Abba, through everything. You're exposing all the wickedness in this world, and to teach your language, Abba, so we can understand Scripture better. And we just ask that you bless everyone out there. Please be with Luis as he's getting ready to teach his Hebrew class for us today. Be with Isaac as he is dealing with all the technical issues going on today. Be with Noble as he's leaving a little early to go minister to a friend at their memorial service. And please have your hands and speak through me as I will be teaching the second hour of class today. Please bring those here who need to hear this message, Abba. We ask all this in Yeshua's name. Amen.
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 All right. Yes. A quick shout out to some of the people that might be joining us. I'm not sure whether on YouTube or in chat, but Dr. Corey Liao.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Corey Liao. Yeah, this is Lisa's neurologist, and we went to see him. There was a consultation for Lisa to see if her brain was on backwards or not. It turns out it's sidewards, not backwards. So that's good news. It's only a quarter way off.
No, actually, I'm praised Yah because it came out normal, all the tests they did. So that's a great hallelujah.
Yeah. But he's a godly man. I mean, it's so nice to meet a professional that loves God, that believes in God. He's a leader in the church.
It's very rare.
Oh, very rare.
To find a doctor here in Hawaii, anyway.
So when he found out about what I do, then we just started talking and all these connections and all whatnot. And again, we just want to say, hey, if you're watching us today or some other time in the future, thank you so much for attending to my wife so meticulously. Again, he's a professional. He's the best at what he does, and I'm just happy that she still got her head on her shoulders. So praise God for that. And again, another shout out to Dr. Tony Kim, Lisa's dentist, who was able to diagnose what her tooth pain was. And you know what? She is not in pain right now, right? So she's smiling. Right. That's no fake smile or pasted smile. You know how a lot of people can paste smiles on. She's actually smiling from her heart, and that's good to know that she's not in pain. So thank you for your prayers again. A lot of prayers for my wife, and I know she needs it. So I just want to thank all of you guys for praying for my wife. So that way, this household is sane, right? If mama ain't happy, nobody ain't happy, right?
That is a fact.
So with that, what else?
Let's see, other announcements. Yes. As usual, we'll have a short prayer meeting at the end of Hebrew class in a few hours. So if you guys want to hang out, and if you have any prayer requests, please put it in the chat, and I'll be checking the chat when I go over to the computer here.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, we have a special guest. Not really a guest.
No, it's not a guest.
Part of our family already. Luis will be teaching Hebrew today because Noble is going to be going to minister at a friend's memorial service.
I'm going to Las Vegas.
No.
I'm going to make some investments.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but I won't be able to be here for the entire program, and so I'm leaving it in the capable hands of my wife and son and brother Luis, and even Johnson, because he's one of our main supporters, and he's also a tech guy too. So, I have no worries, I have no concerns. I just got to go focus on giving a message that's going to wake these people up, and hopefully they'll find Yeshua. So, should I bring a bat or a golf club to wake them up with? That's the question.
A match.
A match? Flamethrower. Flamethrower, man.
You can do one of those Hawaiian fire dances.
Oh my
or someone.
That means I have to take my shirt off.
Yeah,
you don't want to see that. Okay, so Yeah, really. Everything about the shoulders is allowed to be exposed, right? Look at how much muscles he's got. I will pump you up. You don't know what that means. Some people out there knows what it means. That went over my wife's head. But that's Hans and Franz saying, "Well, we'll pump you up." They're
Okay.
Arnold imitation. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna leave it to Luis now, because Isaac's gonna cue him up and get Luis started in the Hebrew class, and that'll leave Lisa and Luis an hour and a half. Well, at least an hour and a half. You can go longer. We've done it many times before.
Yeah.
For your teaching. And so, Luis, are you ready to go,
Luis?
brother?
He's ready.
Yes, I'm going to press my share screen, and then there might be some button or prompt that says to watch my screen, so look out for that, and then tell me once you see my screen.
Yep. Isaac's been there before. He's done it before, so he knows what he's doing. And Isaac, you're going to talk to Luis now. Let him know everything's functioning smoothly.
I'm going to go welcome everyone into the chat.
What do you think?
You
Okay.
should see a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, commercial?
that says biblical-
Oh, okay, yeah. Isaac's going to turn to a real quick commercial as he's processing everything, so we can make a smooth transition. I'm not him, so
And I'm going to see all you guys in the chat
Yep.
in about 10 seconds. So
Okay.
if you have prayer requests, put it there, and we'll see you soon.
all right, guys. See you soon.
As a child growing up here on the beautiful island of Oahu, I never realized what the Most High would have in store for me. I grew up in a family of educators and graduated at a very young age, pursuing education in every aspect. I was so focused on earning several college degrees that I wasn't paying attention to my health or personal life. And it wasn't until I had been through several surgeries and was in extreme pain that I began to pay attention to my body. I went to so many doctors and medical professionals trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So about 10 years ago, I started writing a book detailing my experiences and hoping that it will help other women and others who are in chronic pain, just so they don't have to go through all the steps and many years that I did and down the trail of prescription medication. I highly recommend this book for anyone who is taking care of someone that's in pain, or who has issues with chronic pain themselves, or who has gone through an abusive relationship that has contributed to their pain. I hope that by sharing my story that others are encouraged to seek the Most High first, and that it is much better to trust in Him than to put your faith in man. Through my experience, I learned that God uses whatever it takes to bring us and to draw us back to Him, and I'm truly grateful for that.
Let the Holy Spirit do the condemnation.
Hi guys, okay, give me a minute. We're on.
Okay. Okay, good.
Commercial's not ready.
You're on right there.
Chrome.
On YouTube? I just left How much is this here?
Alright, Luis, you're good to go.
All right, Luis, take it away.
Sorry guys, it's a little small. I had to maneuver, so I had to finesse the system. So So everybody on Discord, if you click Louise's link, you can watch it. Luis, are you there? Did I leave the call? Hello? Oh, okay, there you guys are. Oh, what does he keep doing? It's so weird. Give me a minute, guys. My phone's acting up. I'm hearing them, but my audio is really low right now. Yeah, it was loud just earlier, and I didn't even touch it.
Not in the board.
No, it did. That's just my phone. I don't know. Do you even have Discord on your phone?
A lot of people on this phone.
Yeah. I'm just gonna blew my speaker. No, it's quiet out here too. Yeah. Hey guys, I don't know what's going on, but you are extremely quiet on Discord right now. And like my volume's up to max, and it's not like on the normal setting. What? No, it's everybody in the Discord, Mama. It's not just Louise. I don't know what that is about. I can hear you guys, but I can barely hear you.
Okay, well, that's going to be observing anyway. But Louis can be out.
Sorry guys in the YouTube. Just a minute. That I already did that. Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah, I'm on my mic on my headphones, but my phones, both of the phones that I normally use to pull up your audio onto the mic in my display board, the phones are like quiet as a mouse. So I'm gonna see if I can rework the audio to pull it from this.
Do you want me to teach first?
Everybody can hear me on the mic. think it was. I think there's too many other people in the Discord call. Because I just got kicked out when I joined on my computer.
That's never happened before. We never had that many people before.
Yeah, this is a different.
Can you go to settings in Discord?
No, I don't think that's the issue. The only main issue is that I can't hear you on the phone. Because normally I just go through the phone and then it'll be fine. But the problem is that I have the volume maxed out and it's like a mouse chirping. So yeah, go ahead and do your thing, Mara, and then I'll try my best to figure it out. But I've got nothing right now, honestly. Yeah, I tried all the inputs. I know what you're talking about, and yeah, I'm on my headset through the Discord call, but like whenever I pull it up on my phone, it's just like I wasn't in the call earlier, you know. So, and my Discord on like the actual application won't pull up right now. So I'm in like the browser. So I'm trying.
Alright, I'll do that then.
The mom's gonna teach first.
Alright, just let me know when I'm on, please. And I kind of forget, I kind of need this higher hand. Can we get like maybe 3 more books or something stuck up here? I'm gonna hurt my neck doing this.
I can use the screen.
I wanna have this go up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Dad, can you screen mirror for her?
I think it's this little thing, yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead and stop sharing because the mom's going to go up. So.
Yeah, that's good. Alright. There, that's better. Just a little bit low here. Okay, Isaac, you let me know when I'm going on YouTube.
All I need you is a screen mirror and you're good to go.
Okay. Screen mirror is this little thing, yeah?
No, it's not problematic.
Right?
Okay. Let's go to where we started last week. Can you hear me okay, Isaac? Is the
Yeah.
mic
YouTube,
going?
you're fine.
Okay.
YouTube, you're totally fine. Discord is a problem.
Okay. Alright. So we're going to start where we left off last week. I'm going to do a little bit of a review. And here we go. So this is where we left off last week. I went into scriptures in the Bible that described Kadesh, which means holy, but Kadosh is the root, the shoresh, and Kadesh is the kind of mocking way that in Babylonian captivity and among the Hebrews they would describe the temple prostitutes. And then we went into how that cult, the cult of Baal or Baphomet is the half goat god that pagans tend to worship, especially the famous ones. I wanted to go into a little bit more there after we do this review. So this is Baphomet, and because of what happened in the last few days with, I'm sure many of you know that the so-called top dignitary, the queen, supposedly passed away on September 8th, and there is now a king there. So we're going to talk about the royals just a little bit. We also talked about last week this horrible agenda that has come on the entire world, and this is definitely set up by the royals, set up by those who are in leadership positions in the government, and they basically would like all of our young boys to look like this. This is actually an admitted, inverted, semi-celebrity who is kind of pushing this agenda through their social media accounts and through a lot of other things that they do. So I just feel really sad that this agenda has been ramped up so much, especially in the last 20 years here in the U.S. I think in Canada as well. They're incorporating this into a lot of government agencies, the Department of Education. They have whole curriculums that they're teaching that center around this topic to have children as young as kindergarten be able to choose what gender they are. And I saw this coming down the line actually when I worked for Department of Education. I was a curriculum writer and school counselor and child psychologist at the schools, and when I read through the core curriculum under the Obama administration in around 2008, there's, thousands and thousands of different things they wanted to implement into the curriculum, and they hid this one like they do really well within all those pages. But I was reading through the whole thing, and I noticed that, wow, school counselors are going to be required to help the school orchestrate this and to teach the teachers of this new curriculum that they're bringing in. And they try to make it like, oh yeah, it's all about love and it's all about acceptance, and they even link it to even like race, and they put all these things in to just brainwash the children. So this is another slide we went over last week. This slide I thought was extremely interesting because it links the leaders with Hollywood. And as we saw, in the Reagan administration, of course, everyone knew Ronald Reagan's an actor. And it's just, to me, it's kind of like a no-brainer that the famous ones, as described in Genesis 6, would always want to be the center of attention. And so when I started doing these investigations about 5 or 6, maybe about 6 years ago, there's some that kind of jumped out at me more than others when I was looking into them. One of them was Michelle Obama. That was one of the first ones I noticed. But as we looked at last week, this is a picture of what normal people are capable of. If normal people are capable of this is from an actual inverted website. And please be careful in the chat when I'm teaching this, because there's certain words that will set off the censorship on YouTube, and we don't want to have that happen to us. So if you say inverted gender, that seems to be one that doesn't catch the attention of the YouTube robots. So we're just going to leave it at that. But just keep in mind, this is a man. If they're capable of doing this type of trickery and everything in just like a normal person, imagine what the celebrities are capable of. And they're really good at deception. Okay, so I left off. This is one of the scriptures we're looking at in the book of 1 Enoch. What the doctrine of the fallen angels, the watchers. This is Enoch chapter 8. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth, the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids. Take note of that one. And all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness. They committed fornication, they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Alright, so then we have Semyaza taught enchantments and root cuttings, Armoros the resolving of enchantments, and Barachiel taught astrology. And so they taught all different type of things, but we want to focus on what Azazel taught men to do. Alright, so the beautifying the eyelids is just basically, it's barely scraping the surface. So I put up this slide last week. I'm not sure why it's not going up there. There we go. This is to kind of lead in, because there's so many people out there that have been deceived by this one. And even before they took office, look at this, is from 2011. Lauren Hutton jokes about Donald Trump's presidential bid, and she says, Elvis is not supposed to be president. I looked at this and I was going, wait a minute, why is she even connecting Donald Trump with Elvis? Like, that wouldn't make any sense. And here, he even made some awards Medals of Freedom to Elvis, Babe Ruth, and Miriam Adelson. He even admits in this article from Alt Press, he said he looked like Elvis growing up. The president compares himself to the king in the late artist's birthplace. So there's a lot of ties here that I just was very curious about. So I decided to take a look at what Donald looked like when he was a child. And I compared it to Elvis's baby picture. So if you take a look at these two photos, to me, they're the same person. I know there's a lot of talk out there, oh, Elvis had a twin, maybe that's who it is, you know. But why would they go through all that trouble to make a fake death of a twin when they could just put all of the, and when I say they, I mean like the rulers of Earth and those who control the media. Why would they want to put in all this time and effort to condition and to train someone to be able to seduce the masses, to be able to deceive the masses, to have like this huge set of skills? I mentioned last time that the cabal who creates these characters, or who trains these characters to do what they do, is they put a lot of time and effort into even the DNA combinations of these actors, and they have a high level of Nephilim DNA from what I've discovered. A lot of them have been seen shape-shifting even on camera, so this is what we're dealing with. So I have some more pictures. So here we have a young Elvis and a young Donald Trump. Okay, you can kind of see some similarities. Of course, when you look at pictures of Elvis and Trump, look at this one in the top right-hand corner, all right? Now, would you say that this was Elvis, or was this Trump as a young person? Okay, we can see the bottom right-hand corner. I always take a look at the ears, and when I look at the ears, I don't look on the outside of the ear, I look on the inside of it. And so this one is a definite match between the lower right-hand picture and Trump's picture. Okay, that brings us to the rest of the presidents. We already know that, as we went over last week, that Michelle Obama called so many different times Michael by Barack. I'm referring to Michelle as my Michael, and just it seemed like making that mistake so many times. So hopefully everyone who's watching this can agree that, yes, Michael Obama is male. But the tougher ones to see for me are the female to male. And so if you look at these photos, these have been photoshopped and just basically just added some hair and took away some of the harsh, manly-looking features. And you can see several of the presidents here, including Donald in the bottom right-hand corner. And to me, it kind of relaxes the eyes to see them what they really are. So this would be what they would look like without all the hormones, without all the trickery. And of course, as I discussed last time, that the three-piece suit that all the presidents wear and what they've conditioned the society in the U.S. to wear as like a business suit, that they're purposely designed to hide the gender markers. So I'm going to go over the skeletal gender markers again with you guys just to... Oh, and this one is for Luis. Sorry. Luis, I put this one specifically for you because you asked about this one. John Wayne, Luis said that there's a museum near his area in Texas for John Wayne, and that's another thing, not just Trump and Elvis, but a lot of these actors, if you think that they might look alike, or you could call them like familiar spirits, there's a reason for that. It's because they do play multiple roles throughout their lifetime, and they live much longer than the actual person because of their high level of DNA, Nephilim DNA. Alright, so let me see where we're at here. I wanted to go over the skeletal gender markers again with you guys just because it helps to have like a reference when you're looking at photos. So I put this one together. It helps to see the gender markers a lot easier if the celebrity that you're looking into is wearing less clothing, because then you can see the bone structure. Alright, we talked about last week about the collarbone and how women have like a V-shaped collarbone like I do, and a kind of a thin neck and more narrow shoulders. But if you look at the two celebrities on each side of the one in the center, you can see that they have very broad shoulders. You look at where their collarbone ends, especially look at the one on the left. You can see that one really well. Look at where their shoulder bone ends, and that it's broader than their hip bone. If you look at the one in the middle, that is a very slender, normal person, not a celebrity. But you can see that her hip bones line up exactly with her shoulder bones, and that's really common for females to have like more of a pear-shaped body because they have to bear the children. And so when you're looking at these, if you don't see what looks like more of a wider hip, that's another one of the gender markers to look for. All right, so this is from a forensic website, and you can take a look at the gender markers here from what I was just talking about, the broad shoulders of the male as opposed to the more narrow shoulders of the female, the flat and straight collarbone. You can even reach up and feel your own. If you're a guy, it should be pretty flat and straight across and wide, and females have more of a V shape and they're thinner and makes it for more narrow shoulders. And again, there's about 20 different skeletal gender markers to look at. So even if you feel like, oh, I'm a female and I have really broad shoulders, that's not the only one that you need to look at. You know, like take a look at the hips too. The females usually have broader hips, even if it's just a little bit broader, or at least the same width as their shoulder bones, as is seen in this picture. This one is gives a little bit more detail. This is another one from a forensic-based website of what people look for, what forensic scientists look for when they are evaluating bodies or just bones. The gender can be looked at, the gender can be determined just by looking at the bones. Right, so you can see all the different gender markers. Females have a really small neck. Males have like a larger one. You can see the large collarbone as opposed to the small one. Let's see what else. There's no gap in between with the parallel legs as opposed to the non-parallel legs. And females tend to have a lot thinner calves. Females have a lot smaller hands and feet than males. And of course, with the height, if it's a tall female, they're more likely to have a little bit larger hands and feet than the average female, but it's all relative with the height and the size of the person. Here's some differences in skulls we'll go over real quick. Males have heavier brow ridges. The orbits are smaller in males. Okay, the males have a heavy mandible. You can see on here all of the different things that are labeled. The brow ridge here up on the top, you can see the males have pretty much an extreme brow ridge. You can even feel your own, you know. So, okay, if you have something that's like right above your, Noble's feeling his, if you have something that's like right on your eyebrows, okay, that is your brow ridge. And females generally do not have one. Females more, their forehead will slope straight, or not even slope, but goes straight down right over what the males usually have as a brow ridge. Now, be careful though, because they do have what's called brow ridge implants. And so for female to male, that is a surgery that they do where they cut a little hole over here by the sides of the eyebrow and they insert a brow ridge to try to make them look more masculine. Or they have the reverse for male to female where they have what's called a brow ridge shave. Just similar to an Adam's apple shave where they make a little hole and they go in there with like a, I don't know what, some kind of thing to file it down. Must be really painful, but it tends to feminize the face. Okay, so we're going to go back. So that's our little review of the gender markers before I go on with these photos here. So take a look at this one. I put this one up last week with all of the Adam's apples. And once you learn to recognize this in celebrities, it becomes really obvious. I know some of you guys have been doing your own investigations with celebrities, and that's awesome, because don't just believe me, what I say. You know, you guys go and do your own research on this. I'm just giving you guys some tools to be able to make your own determination about the celebrities. All right, so we saw the picture of Barack with longer hair in the other photo, and I used an app called Face App. It's a free one if you'd like to get that for your phone. It's pretty handy because I like it that it kind of can reveal with celebrities that their true gender looks a little bit more natural than the gender they're trying to play. Okay, Noble got a phone call. All right, next one. Okay, we're going into the royals today, just because of the death of the so-called queen. And these are some other royals I want you guys to take a look at. We have at the top here Queen Maud of Norway. All right. Look at the skeletal gender markers based on what I just told you about the skull. And you can look on the bottom here, Princess Nicholas of Greece and Denmark, the Grand Duchess Elena, and I can't even say that last name. But if you take a look at these royals, the gender markers should kind of pop out at you because they're not using too much makeup. What was that, Aldian?
5 o'clock shadow.
Oh yes, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I couldn't hear you very well. Alright, so yeah, 5 o'clock shadow, as Aldian says. We're going to look at some more royals here. So here we have Queen Margaret of Denmark and Queen Louise of Sweden. Notice the very large, wide, I call it like a tree trunk looking neck, extremely large skull with a large square jaw, not a sloping jaw like a female would have. Look at the hand in the top right picture. Look at the very deep, super deep eye sockets on these particular people. Okay? What was that?
Terry Todd says I have no Adam's apple.
Oh, okay.
Queen Margaret looks like Boy George.
Thank you, Aldia.
Thank you for speaking. The audio's better.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to go to the next one. Princess Helen of Greece and Denmark. Okay, you can see a kind of rough looking up there on the left. And in the middle, you can see the very deep eye sockets, brow ridge. And the bottom, Princess Birgitta of Sweden. If you notice too, they don't really age very well from what I noticed. If you look at Birgitta there on the bottom right. Hi, honey. Alright, Noble's taken off. He's had enough of the royals. We're going to give it to you in a heavy dose today, you guys. Okay, so...
you better strap in.
Yeah, keep up here.
Get those snacks, get that water.
Alright, we've got Queen Victoria Eugenie of Spain. Alright, look at the top left there. Look at how broad the shoulders are, how thick the neck, and gigantic hands. Huge skull. Bottom is Princess August of Bavaria. This one's not quite as obvious, but I think if I put it in my little face app thing, that it would definitely read male immediately without having to make too many changes, except the hat. You know, you notice they like to use hats, a lot of jewelry, earrings, anything to like feminize the face, they do it. They have the funds to do it and they have the means to do it, but they also have to put out there what in plain sight through their hand symbols and as to what gender they truly are. Alright, so this is again the same one, Princess August of Bavaria. The Hollywood A-list entertainment group are blood related to these entities. No natural conception, and everything is done by science. Alright, when I wrote this a couple years ago, when I put this up on my page, I wasn't really aware of how they would reproduce. It makes more sense to me that they would do it through science, but as I've come to do some more investigations, I've noticed that there are some times where, and you'll see this in the next few slides, where the actual female to male is pregnant. So it's not all through science. I take that back. I'm sorry I was wrong there. But the royals have been part of the Baphomet Club for centuries, and there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, so we're back here to these. I'm going to skip through these gender markers, and we're going to go to Trump. Okay, so notice their hand signs. That's another thing I've learned to be very aware of, because even when Zen was doing a presentation and reading from Albert Pike, he said that hand signs and symbols will be their downfall, and that's a great way to identify them, because they're required to do these when they're in the media, in public media broadcasts, in the news, even when they're appearing in person, you'll see them constantly throwing up these hand signs. Trump does this one a lot. Okay, so this is, you can see the satanic symbology in this one. And take some more pictures. Okay, so this is Elvis in his later stages before the so-called fake death is what I call it. because they don't, the celebrities, whenever they say somebody actually dies, like they said the Queen dies, I really truly don't believe that, because they live so much longer than we do. I mean, there's evidence that they could even live up to maybe 250 years, but they do have their deep underground bases that they can easily go into and just hang out for a while. It's like a whole nother underworld for them. But take a look at the similarities between Elvis's face and Trump's face here. You know, Elvis, as we saw in the baby pictures, Elvis was born blonde. Right, so they dyed the eyebrows blonde. I noticed Elvis quite a bit would wear makeup, mascara to make everything just dark. Those really long, dark sideburns. When technically, if he had remained blonde, I think we'd see even more similarities. But the whole facial structure of these two is exactly the same. The eye color, even blue eyes. All right, this is another celebrity couple. You guys might recognize who these are. I just put this up because this is a classic example of inverted gender couples, all right? Just look at the large skull on, I believe her name is Christy, or his name is Christy, and there's a super flat male back on that one too. Whereas on John, you can actually see there's a line beneath the chest where I explained in the last video that they have like the white wedding ritual where they either remove or add the breast to look like Baphomet, so they can portray two genders there. So you guys can study this, and if you want to look at it longer, you can watch this one again. Here's some more pictures of the same couple. Satanists worship their deities through inverted genders. This is how they show allegiance to Baphomet. Right, and then I put in this verse that we talked about last time, Leviticus 18, verse 21. You shall not give any of your children to offer them to Moloch, and so profane the name of Yahweh. I am Yahweh. You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It's an abomination. So, from what we talked about last time, where I showed you the scriptures here, that passing through the fire can also refer to the first transition ritual, usually around age 13 to 14, or around puberty. Okay. Marilyn Monroe, we touched on this one a little bit, but as I said before, they do not die. Like, they advertise their deaths to generate more viewers and more emotions from people who have built these kind of not too great soul ties with them. And so when somebody hears of, oh my gosh, so-and-so died, then it's like everybody's talking about it, and when they just love to be talked about. These famous ones, they're just like the Nephilim. That's why they were called the famous ones of old. We still have the same spirits of the Nephilim in these creatures. And this one appeared again on the stage as a Trump supporter. I think they were calling her Veronica. So as you see, this was a Q, big time Q supporter. Yeah, and if you look at the names too, they like to use names that start with M's, because you turn the M sideways and it's 33, and that's like a huge deal with Freemasonry. Here's some more. This one played quite a few roles throughout their lifetime. And as you can see, like, I mean, if Marilyn Monroe was alive today, it probably would be in their 90s, and if you look at this person with the Q hat on, they look like they're older, but they don't look like normal 90-year-olds to me. I believe they also played the character called Jane Mansfield. I don't know the celebrities too well because I wasn't raised with TV, but these are some other roles that this character played. There's Mansfield. You notice they put the name, they even put it right in the name, Mansfield, and then this is Jackie over here. All they did was just color the hair dark, and yeah, it's the same person that's with Kennedy, or that was with Kennedy. And this is a really great, I love this one because it breaks it down and it shows you how their faces line up exactly. And they're such, they call them Decepticons, or Transformers. They throw in those words in the movies too to just kind of mock us, it seems like. You can study this one, Marilyn Monroe. You can see all the different roles. Rosalind Carter. I was talking with a couple of our friends on Discord a couple weeks ago and mentioned that if you haven't researched the relationship between Kennedy and Carter, please do so. It's kind of like all over the web, but as you can see, they're the same exact person. You just look in this bottom right corner, and they had the same so-called wife. that's inverted. So right here we got Rosalind Carter and all the other roles that these people played. They really did play a lot. They're all just actors. Okay, this one was kind of obvious a couple years ago. I think a lot of people noticed that Melinda Gates was not female just because of the changes that took place. And I mean, to me, they just look so much more natural if they are exhibiting their gender that they were born. So this is another inverted couple, and this is again done with face app just to show what they would look like if they were showing us the truth. Alright, and also I was talking a little bit last week about how they fake the pregnancies. This is one way that they fake the pregnancies, because men don't give birth, as you know. So celebrities like this one would use just a simple moon bump, and you can order different sizes of this moon bump. Here, look, you can even get it online here. It's between $150 to around $400. You even get a discount. You can get it in any color, shape, size. They really go to great lengths to deceive everybody. And not just moon bumps, but they use a lot of silicone and latex and what I would call skins that look a lot like regular skin. I mean, these are just things that are available to normal people to try to deceive. But the celebrities have taken it to a lot higher level over the years. They've pretty much perfected a lot. So this is silicone. They can just pull this on. They don't work out. They can instantly have abs. I'm sorry, what was that?
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, silicone. There you go. Yeah, so this is an example of what the celebrities do. They can make it look like you worked out really hard and you just put on this silicone thing and it looks like you have abs, and they can make women look like they have abs like this, and trying to make like normal people want to work out and do a lot of sit-ups and think that they're going to actually try to look like this. I'm not saying that men can't look like this, but the majority of the celebrities that wear these are women. As you can see, look, this is a model wearing one of the silicone pieces to try to look like they're ripped. Well, they probably didn't do much work, and there's a good chance this one is female as well. You can see with the hips are extremely wide for a very fit man. Here's some more. It looks like it would be really uncomfortable, but they have ways that it's like breathable, so it feels like they're just wearing a regular skin. I wanted to show you guys this. The number of pediatric gender clinics in 2007 versus what they are in 2022.
Holy Jesus.
Just across the U.S. Like, it's really sad. It's horrible. I mean, they used to just have a few, and now it's like everywhere. And this is all, I mean, to me it all links back to the media, because why would the media and education and just everything that's put out there, we're going to see more and more of the celebrities' children wanting to switch genders publicly to normalize it for the next generation, and it's really sad how it's affecting the children now. Oh my, okay, maybe we should skip this one. I don't know if you guys ready for this one? A lot of people, I showed this one to, they did not believe me. You guys can do your own investigation on this one, and I know it's really, the toughest ones to me are the ones in pro sports, because they're tall, they seem like they work out, they play ball really good, very well, you know. But if you look at the gender markers, and I always look at to see like who's the girlfriend or who's the wife, and then you can do a skeletal analysis on them, and you can see right here. Just take a look at this extremely large square jaw and skull on the girlfriend, and I know this one is really tough. I got kind of a lot of hate for this before. So this is via face app what they would look like just without the beard. You can see they have a very small dental arch. Males tend to have a very wide one. They have wider mouths, and this one has very shallow eye sockets too. It looks like they could have maybe a brow ridge implant. This is more with the girlfriends, so-called. You can totally see that the one on the left is a man. I mean, just look at their like no hips, big square jawline, deep eye sockets, huge dental arch, large skulls. So, you know, like if this athlete was a male, then maybe they like dudes dressed like girls. I don't know. But this other one too, the other so-called girlfriend, same skeletal markers as the one on the left. And it's tough because the height is a pretty big deception. I also did another one that showed the 3 different girls they were with, and I did the face app on them so you could see what they would look like as their original gender. This might be a little disturbing, I'm sorry. And again, you can see it's just, this one's just, to me, it's they've either got a paste-on beard or the hormones will make them grow facial hair within 3 to 4 months. That's why they go to the gender clinics, because they wanted, the gender clinics promote the surgeries, first of all, which to me, they're satanic rituals, and they promote the use of pharmaceuticals, hormones, and yeah, the money's there. I mean, the more children that they refer to these clinics, the more invested into the pharmaceutical companies. And they're throwing up the 2 gender signs. I know we've all been taught that this means peace, but it doesn't. It's originally from Baphomet. You can see the 2 above and below what Baphomet does, and that's what they're trained to do. So they have to show us truth in plain sight. They've just lied and told us what this means when it's a pledge of allegiance to their God or to their deity. Okay, so here we have Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, and this is I didn't do any touch-ups on this photo, okay? Just take a look at the daughter. This was the daughter that supposedly performed with J-Lo during, I think it was before Super Bowl. What was that, Aldea?
It looks like a son.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, yeah, you're right. This one is just supposedly just coming out and saying that they're not female, they're really male, but they're actually just coming out and telling us the truth about their original gender. You can note the skeletal markers here. And here's some more pictures with the, with J-Lo, who, and also here's, I think this is Jennifer Garner. I'm not sure what this person's doing even with this child, but both J-Lo and Garner have all male gender markers. They use some padding on the hips a little bit, but overall you can see the male structures on all these 4 in this photo. There, this is J-Lo's so-called son as a little girl before they decided they wanted to so-called transition back to their original gender. But these are like the idols that the younger generation are looking at. They're seeing this happen, like they're seeing them dressed in a dress on the left side and then like dressing like a guy on the right side, and to me it's going to influence them to think this is a really cool and way to get popular type of thing to do. Here's a few more. You can see definitely that the child is a male, as all the male gender markers. J-Lo is a tough one for me just because of all the padding and all the deception. Okay, someone sent me this one. This is to show you what the latex suits can do, okay? Look at this arm. Like, it even looks like he's like, or she is like holding the arms out like this to make up for all the padding and silicone suit that they have on here.
You gotta air out. Too much sweat.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, both of these are women. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're both women. These are really tough to see just because we've been trained to think that they're like manly men, you know, in the superheroes. But I have a full breakdown. I'll bring that up the next time I present, Louise, so you can see original, because they just use a lot of prosthetics to try to like bulk them up, and then they take hormones for the facial hair and
surgeries for the vocals.
Yeah, tons of surgeries so that they can tune the vocal cords to sound a little bit more manly. But yeah, this is what it looks like when they put on one of those latex suits right here. They don't work out. I mean, they try to make us think, oh yeah, you work out, you can look like this. No, you can't. Okay, especially if you're female, you can't look like this unless you use prosthetics. All right, this is one that Luis was asking about. Okay. Okay, it's tough because, yeah, I don't know if you remember, there's a song that Madonna did called Strike a Pose. That was all about the models and the celebrities learning how to pose so it looks like they have curvature, kind of like the globe, but they don't have any curvature. So as we know, women have a very curvy spine, so they like stick out certain areas to try to make it look like they're curvy. But you can definitely see the broad shoulders, and if they weren't sticking out their spine like they are in this photo, they would probably just be like straight up and down like a male. I'll do a more in-depth study on this one. I just pulled this photo up to show you.
Now they got booty shots too.
And this is also what we were talking about too. They have different flags and colors that are for all of these horrible identities. And I'm sorry I can't see what this one says down here. One of my friends posted this and I thought I'd just show you guys. Just because they really twisted the whole light blue and pink thing. What?
It's going to censor the words.
Oh, okay. Let me take this.
That top left one is all over my school where I work at.
Yeah, this one right here, right? Yeah, I'm not going to read these because I don't want to get... Yeah, it's awful. And we've been kind of trained within our minds to think, oh yeah, that's just for when you're buying things for babies. Oh yeah, it's a girl, let's buy them something pink. Oh, it's a boy, let's buy them something blue. I mean, where did that even come from, right? Like, yeah, they've been training us for this for a long time. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to read the names of these because I don't want to get censored, but you guys can read this on your own. Okay, here we are, to the Queen. Alright, this one is a multiple role actor as well. And of course, the higher the status in the royals, the more roles that the entertainment industry gives them. So I don't know if you guys have ever watched this show called I Love Lucy, but if you did, look at the similarities between the face. All they did was put on like a ton of makeup and fake eyelashes and restructure the lips a little bit for I Love Lucifer is what I call it. Here's some more.
That one blew his mind. It did me too.
So yeah, I never did watch the show. I kind of just heard about it from friends because I didn't grow up with TV. But for those of you that used to watch the show, you can now see it in a whole new light.
She's got some explaining to do.
Okay, so and also too, it's really common when they're filming like long-term shows. That if they're with someone within the show, it's usually their actual partner in real life as a royal. So we're going to see where this one goes. So this is supposedly Prince Philip. This one also played several different roles, and I can't remember the name of this actor that is on the bottom. If any of you guys know, put it in the chat. It's like an older actor, and I'm sorry I didn't grow up with media, but here's another one of their roles. This is Lucille Baal, I call her. So this is, by Face App, you could take two faces and you could see if they're a match or not. And so that's what I did down here on the bottom. And it comes up with like this image in the middle. And to me, these are an exact match. Alright, so here's Prince Philip. Also played the role of Desi, and I never watched the show, so I'm not sure, but I just pulled up this photo. I did like a face overlay, and then they're really great at doing accents. Because, you know, if you think of someone who's demon-possessed, like Legion, they can have all different types of voices and accents and pull it off really well. So I think this one was supposed to be Hispanic. But it was Prince Philip under there all the way. So this is what they would look like with their natural genders, the Queen and Philip. To me, they look more natural this way. And here's another role the Queen played. I can't think of the name. Betty White, Isaac is saying. Yes, so they have the exact same facial structure. So I just took the two photos, put them together, and they lay on top of each other like perfectly. They have the same nose, same teeth, same way they smile. They just did the makeup a little bit darker, I think, on Betty. Okay, I'm going to skip over this one. It's a lot to read, but this is just to show you that it goes even into, the royals even go into like church leadership, and the mega churches especially. So I'm not going to read all of this. If you guys want to go back and press pause, you can read this whole supposed scandal that was going on with a church called Hillsong. I don't know if any of you have heard this church. Maybe Adrian from Oz has heard of it because it originated in Australia. Isaac and me actually did see these people. They came to the church that Isaac and I used to go to here on Oahu and did a performance. And I didn't know back then. I just thought that the performers looked a little strange, but they kind of have like that celebrity quality, and we'll see a little bit more of that here. So here we have the head pastor, Brian, and we have the so-called wife, and you could just look at the wife. You can see the huge skull, the thick neck. Look at the hand, it's massive. really
Look like
thick
Rick
wrists.
James.
Thick wrists, as opposed to kind of like the more dainty skeletal structure. Although it's very tall. I mean, I'd say it. The person on the left is very tall, so it's kind of tougher to see, whereas the person on the right is extremely short. And here's some of them when they're younger. These ones, they did a really good job on these ones, disguising them and just making them these kind of esteemed megachurch pastors for a while. But these are the children. What was that, Aldean?
Oh, giants are going to be tall.
I know, that's true, right? So these are the children. All of the children in this family, the Houston family, went out and they're lead pastors in Hillsong churches worldwide. And this one supposedly married a model. And that's the one holding up the 2 gender sign on the left side. We're going to look a little bit more there. This is the supposed wife. This one is really obvious.
Oh
like,
my God.
Look straight up and down. There's absolutely
What
no
is
hips.
that?
There's no way that this person gave birth to this child, okay? There's the two
Not
gender
with those
signs again.
hips.
You can see the super broad shoulders here, wearing a hat to cover up the big skull. Just like absolutely no curvature whatsoever, right? This is the same person. Some more of this is like the children who are all the pastors. I mean, I feel really sad for the babies, you know, like they're brought up in this cult, and so most likely if the baby is trying to, they make the baby look like the opposite, they dress them as the opposite gender.
So where's the baby coming from? I mean, it's not coming out of the air. Who's having the baby?
That's what I mean, I have some evidence coming up that it's actually the ones that look like males that are giving birth.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the only way I think that it could work. Unless they do it, you know, like in a petri dish and have like a surrogate, you know. But
Artificial insemination, yeah.
right. Here's some more. They have, of course, the 88 symbolism up here, and you can see here's some more of the so-called spouses. Okay. Oh, this is a classic. I don't know if any of you guys seen this one when you were researching Flat Earth, but these astronauts, they play these multiple roles as well, and they're even called by like the same name. Like some of these are college professors or other researchers, and this is the crew that supposedly exploded a couple decades ago, but they're all still alive. Let's see. Okay, I want to go over this couple. We're kind of done with the royals for now, but I want to give this an example of the reverse gender of the so-called husband being pregnant. Okay, so here we have Brittany and Kevin and whatever this person's name is, the new girlfriend or something. Look at how wide Kevin's hips are in these photos. Okay, so these are a bunch of the other celebrities that Brittany supposedly dated, and the child up on the top, she's making it look like it's a boy, but it's actually a girl. Alright, take a look at the shape of Brittany compared to the shape of Kevin here. Alright, look at Brittany's neck and shoulders, and Kevin's taller, so it's a little bit deceptive, but wait till you see some more of these pictures. Okay, look at this one. This one I think Kevin's actually pregnant. Just look at how Brittany's holding the tummy right here. Okay, and then of course the 2 gender sign. This is a very tricky one because Brittany is a very small, petite man, and Kevin is taller. So this is with the face out, so you can see this right here. And then this one didn't take too much. It just took off a little bit of the makeup. You can see the thick neck, you know. And this is Kevin. Kevin's tougher because of the facial hair and everything. It's tough to see. But that's why I put it in the face up, just to see what they would look like with no facial hair and makeup. And to me, they look more natural this way. This would have been, if Kevin was pregnant with their children, this would have been the time. I mean, look at how much the body changed. It just looks, if you take away the head of this, it just looks like a pregnant lady with a beard. Who knows to say it? There, you can see it right here. A lot of people are like, oh no, that's a beer belly. It's like, well, okay. Look at compared to Brittany though, like there's no way.
How big his chest is getting.
Yeah, see, I mean everything kind of grows along with the baby, and look at how like no hips here again.
How's this guy still smoking when he's pregnant?
And then this is the supposed 2 boys they had. You could kind of see they already have like female traits. You can see how the Q angle here in the legs is just a little bent a little bit much. The necks are very slender. The facial features are really small.
Yeah, that's a girl on the left.
I think both are. Why is this not?
Just give it
Oh, this is another one. It's just a meme that I put up. I have actually a couple videos on my BitChute channel if you guys are interested in seeing an investigation of every single First Lady, not just several of them like I've shown you in the past. But they get pretty obvious once you know what to look like in the skeleton. Oh, Demi Moore and 2 children.
It's like,
My father used to always complain about Demi Moore's square jaw.
Well, he was right.
Really?
He was right. I mean, look at
Something was up.
the poor children. Like this, they're dressing this one like a girl. I mean, how much more obviously a boy can you get? Especially when they get older. I mean, look at this is the 3 Willis supposed girls. Like, they're just.
oh my gosh.
There's no way that that's women, right? There's another close up of them. Okay, I'm gonna go through this real quick because I know we're running out of time. So, this is a baby picture of the Queen with the Queen's parents. Oh, we jumped into Jared Kushner. Sorry, I was trying to get this so I could see all the photos, so I could see what's coming up next. But yeah, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jared Kushner registered to vote as a woman for 8 years. This is in 2017. It's really feminine looking, right? Oh, and then we got the Rothschilds. Look at the comparison to like the Nephilim skulls they found in Peru. We got the Rothschilds and we got the Perez here. Luis, you're asking about the Israeli leaders. Yeah. Yeah. Look at what was the famous one from Israel that was supposedly a lady? I have that one done too. Yeah, look at Golda Meir. Yeah, look, do an investigation on Golda Meir. It like jumps out at you with that one. Here we got George Washington wearing all the 33-degree Freemason stuff, and look at the hips. I think there's another reason why they wear the apron, right? They're huge.
The founding father, George Washington, is a girl.
Well, technically, in my research, we've never actually had a male president in the U.S.
Oh my lord.
Here's some of the other so-called royals. We got Angela Merkel, Theresa May, and can't even say her name, President of Lithuania. As yeah, they're supposedly friends as children, and what are the odds that they're going to be world leaders when they're adults, right? Here they are again. We got Germany, the UK, and Lithuania.
Look at them bullies.
3 boys with long hair.
Oh, so they're boys, but they're dressing them as girls.
Oh,
Looks like
how do I click on here so I can see the whole thing? Isaac,
I don't know about that one. I've never used it.
I'm trying to get out of here so I can see all the pictures. Oh, there. Okay. So we saw these. Did I go back? Okay. Okay. Wanted to just. Okay. Let me just do 5 more. These are just. I'm going to end with Trump. All right. You guys can read these. You can do your own investigation with Trump / Elvis, and yeah, you can see the hips. You can see the tiny shoulders. The Q angle of the legs. It's easier to see, like I said, if they're not wearing a suit, because the suit is made to hide the gender markers. And always doing the satanic symbolism, the 666 on both eyes, just like the other celebrities do. There's some more of the Oh, he's even throwing a 2 gender while he's playing tennis. And then this is just a joke. Somebody sent me this one after Biden was in office. I have nothing like personal against these people. It's just that now I know that, you know, voting really doesn't even matter. They all work for the same people. They're all related. Here, I just had to, yeah, zone in on that.
Oh, he's wearing a tiny whitey.
Okay, then there's that again. All right. So that's all I have for today. Luis, I think Isaac is ready for you to teach. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me and going through all these. And if you're interested, I might be able to talk Noble into letting me have one more presentation that I can cover. I could do this all day, but if you have...
I have a question just for clarification. So, like, when it comes to, like, Trump and Elvis, is that really a Trump or Elvis? Is just this nameless actor that's playing both roles, if I'm understanding correctly?
Yes. And on Trump's mother's side, I believe they're royals. So the more chance, if they're royals or related to royal blood, the more chance they have to play multiple roles. So, of course, they want to have them be like the most famous ever because they love all the attention and they actually can't stand any of the normal people. So, yeah, but you're right.
Can you clarify what the connection is to the Nephilim and what the connection is to your implication of them living longer that you said earlier?
Oh, good question. Okay, with the Nephilim, as I was saying in Genesis chapter 6, that they were called the famous ones of old, or of the renowned ones. And so to me it would make sense, this is my personal theory and from my research, that it would make sense that as in prophecy, the kings and rulers of earth will all be like high-ranking demons or possessed by demons. So that's what I believe as far as their DNA is concerned, that they use those specific combinations to create like what I call flesh suits, if that makes any sense, because demons need like an empty vessel to possess. So the cabal, or I call them the controllers, the elite bankers, they are very excellent at DNA combination. I mean, they've been doing this back even since the days of Egypt. That's why they preserved the mummies so well in Egypt, so they could preserve the DNA to keep recreating the same characters over and over and over again, and then the same demons would possess them because they already have a huge level of Nephilim blood, much higher than the average person, where they're able to shapeshift, And so that's my theory. So that's just from my research and other things I've read. I was going to read to you guys from Gary Wayne's book because he's got a lot of this in his book. I highly recommend reading this one. But I will save this for next time because we're running out of time. All right? Thank you for the question. Anybody else have anything before I turn it over to Luis? Or actually, do you want to take a break, Isaac?
Amazing work. Because I don't know how I'm going to follow this decision. So easy.
No, we want to learn Hebrew. That's our big thing. Did you want to do a commercial? Okay.
I need you to say hi.
Okay, we're gonna do a commercial break. If you guys have questions, throw it to me in the chat, or you can email us at biblicalhebrewhawaii@gmail.com, and we'll see you after the break for Luis's excellent teaching.
All right. Well, shalom. Good evening. I'm going to do my very best to follow that wonderful presentation. I hope I do the channel here some justice and filling in for Noble, but we have Lisa, we have Eldion, and all the others in the group. I look forward to having you all participate as well. And so, again, shalom. This is Biblical Hebrew. Last week we looked at the beginning lesson, but we didn't have time to squeeze in the advanced lesson, so I figured we'll do that today. And in the advanced lesson, we're actually going to have some writing, we're going to have pronunciation, and we're going to have translating. And so our first exercise will be to recognize these letters and to call out the name of each of the letters. If you notice, last week I had the letters all in one line and in order. But now for the advanced group, for those of you that are quicker and faster with recognizing the letters, now they're out of order, and let's see if we can match the names. So we'll take a couple of lines. We won't do all for the sake of time every single line, but maybe 2 or 3 lines. And we'll do the first one. So we have the letter Kof, Reish, Aleph, Tet, Vav, Nun Sofit, Mem Sofit, Fe, Shin or Sin, and Dalet. Okay, so that's what you'll do. We'll point at each letter, and each person will take a line, and to the best of your ability, just give the name of each of the letters. Who would like to go first?
I'll give it a go.
Okay, Aldion, line number 2.
Gimel. Gimel. Bet. Ayin. Yod.
What's the second one?
Bet.
Not Bet.
Vet. No. Kof. Kaf.
Yeah, Kaf.
Kaf. That's it. Kaf. Ayin. Yod. Hey.
No, go back.
No, right.
There we go.
Lamed. That is a Kof Sofit.
Correct.
Pei Sofit. Zayin. Samek. And Bet.
Now, there you go. Now you have a Bet or a Vet. Yes, very good. Excellent. Thank you, Aldion. Do we have another volunteer for line 3? Anyone? Lisa, maybe? Lisa, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Line 3. Okay.
Oh, was somebody here?
Hey, Noon, Mem.
Oh, there we go.
The third one. Mem, Sadi, Pa, Sadi Sophie, Shin, or Shin, Zion, Dalit, Hope.
Excellent. Very good. Metsu Yenit. Wonderful. And so we'll pause right there with the recognizing of the letters, and we'll save some for the next class if there's future classes. And you all did an excellent job with the recognition of the letters. And so just a reminder, remember, we had our vowels, and obviously there are subsequent combinations of each of these vowels. But if we remember that each of those vowels, no matter how they appear, the foundational sound are the following. So for this section here, this going from left to right, we have A, E, I, O, U. So again, no matter what combination of these vowels are together, they're going to make that foundational sound. A, E, I, O, U. Any questions with the vowels? All right. So now this is last week we took a look at reading different consonant combinations with vowel combinations. But now for our advanced readers, we're going to read these words. We're not going to translate. We're just going to read for fluency. So line 1, for example, the word here is moshav. Moshav. Then we have shomer. Shomer. And then we have kavod. Kavod. So that's all you will do is read
And for those on YouTube, practice with us as well as we're reading, okay? So line 2, Aldion, would you like to try line 2? Yes. Jacob. Noten.
Right.
Assyria. Yes, so remember you have a pause here. Ashray. Ashray. There you go. Excellent. Try it one more time, all the way through for fluency. Okay. Yaakov, Noten, Ashray. Beautiful. Metsuyan. Amazing. All right, line 3.
Okay.
Lisa, you want to try again?
Did you say me?
Yep.
Okay. Zoem. Karov. Kasto.
Excellent. So again, one more time for fluency.
Zoen. Karov. Kasto.
Excellent. I'll take line 4. Boré. Boré. Ve'of. Ve'of. Ledor. Ledor. Line 5. Aldian. Kametsi. So you have the first half, right? Kam, and then Tan. You have the Sadi with the Asa. Sa with the Nusafid. Kamstan. 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 Kashmir. Kashmir. You have a teen, and then you have a halom at the top. That O sound here at the top. Hashomer. Very good. Ya'of. Yeah, remember you have a V sound here. Ve'of. Ve'of. Wonderful. One more time for fluency. Okay. Kashmir. Oh, go. Kam. 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 San. Kam. San. Hashmer. Hashomer. Hashomer. And
Yeah, this is the 2 dots.
Ve'of. You got it. Ve'of. Wonderful. Excellent. All right, line 6. Lisa, you want to try line 6?
Can I do
Okay.
it?
Oh, Isaac will try.
Oh, Isaac, yeah. I didn't know if Isaac, yeah, of course, please participate, yeah. In fact, you're going to like the second work. It is related to your name.
I want to say Yase.
Ya'ase.
Yes, wonderful.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a hard one.
Yasom. Yasom.
Sekok.
Yes.
Sekok.
Yes. Oh yes.
Se is sudden.
Se.
Kok.
Ko. Okay, I get that. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Hulk. Ram it together. Hulk.
It's not a lamed,
Kok.
right? And the next one is a
Yeah.
lamed. Shalom. Okay.
Shalom. Wonderful. One more time for fluency.
Okay, I forgot it already.
That's why you gotta.
Ya'ase.
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 Se.
Se.
Kok.
Sekok. And I want to read it correctly without remembering it. And then Shalom. Yeah.
Shalom. Wonderful. And the middle word is related to your name, Yitzhak, to laugh or to laugh at. Yeah, so there you go. Of all the lines to pick, you picked a good one. All right, line 7. We'll close line 7 with Lisa.
Okay. Basof. Hodo. Maret. Oh, Maharet.
Maheret.
Oh, Maheret. Sorry.
All right, one more time, all the way through.
Basof. Hodo. Maheret.
Excellent, wonderful. So that takes care of recognizing the letters at the advanced level and reading for fluency. Now we're going to get into the writing part. So today our advanced students will be learning to write the Hebrew alphabet in modern cursive script. The cursive script is not a new language, nor does it change meanings of words or grammar. The cursive script is merely a different, faster font to write Hebrew in. Most Christian seminaries will teach to write in Hebrew using the traditional block letters. Usually, the only time traditional Hebrew block letters are handwritten on paper or parchment is when a sofer, a scribe, is writing a Torah scroll or a scroll from the prophets or the writings. All other times, cursive is used. It is a priority for students of Hebrew to learn the cursive alphabet, especially if you will be working for the Lord and His kingdom in the land of Israel. If you recall the first time I taught, I gave you a short 7-lesson course in the Hebrew alphabet and some vocabulary. We will be using the letters and vocabulary from those lessons in the same sequence they were presented. So I'm talking about the very, very first time I taught that introductory course. If you remember that, I'm going to fold that. And then if Noble wishes for me to continue with further classes, we'll continue with this with the advanced.
Oh, of course.
So don't fret, just enjoy and have some fun. Any questions so far?
All right. Thank you, Luis. I'm sure he's going to want you to continue. You're such a blessing.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So this is what the cursive alphabet looks like all together. But don't worry, we're not doing it all today. We're going to take a series of letters that can form vocabulary, and we'll break it down that way. But just to see, this is what the whole alphabet, including the final letters, look like, and I'll be showing you how to write this. So for those of you on YouTube, grab a piece of paper and pen or pencil, because this is where the fun part comes in. Here we go.
Wow.
So as you can see, we have the letters here. We have Aleph, Hey, Yud, Mem Sofit, Nun Sofit, and Tav. So what I'll do is, now that my pencil works, thanks to Aldion, he helped out here in donating a very fast computer for the ministry we have here, our congregation, and for Hebrew class, so that helps out a lot, and now everything works fast here. So here we have our Aleph. Now this is what it looks like in block. And the reason why I prefer cursive is because if we're writing block and I have to write out a whole sentence, if you're writing, you have to do a line like this, and then a line like that, and then a line like this, and it just takes forever if you're having to spell out words and sentences. So what the modern state of Israel did was create, obviously, a new alphabet. Now, some of them you might see a resemblance to the Paleo Hebrew. So, like, for example, I believe the Aleph in cursive today has some connection to the Paleo Hebrew. So, Aleph today, modern handwriting, it looks like a letter C, like this. So, if you're following along on paper, you just write like a letter C, and then from the top, you just draw a little spine behind that. Okay, so let's do that again. We have a letter C with a little backbone, a spine. Now, don't worry if the spine doesn't connect and there's some space. It's okay. Sometimes you might see people when they're writing quickly, it'll look like this. No big deal. As long as it looks something in this vicinity, you're doing okay. That would be an Aleph. All right. questions? Okay. Hey is going to look like this. And we're going to start here at this point, and then come like a half circle, and then another little half circle inside. Okay, so once again, we're going to do like a half circle, and then another little half circle. Now don't worry if you don't have it perfect, as long as it looks something like this, again, you're going to be fine. It'll be legible. And that'll be your hay. Yod is very simple. It's just a little line just above that middle dotted line. And you just bring it from the top down in the middle. Now you don't want it to go all the way down because that's going to be our noon sofit. So this is wrong. Don't do that. Just do a little yod, a little marking just like that, just above the dotted line. Okay? Y'all with me so far?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky. Mem is going to look like the letter N in English, only we're going to start in the opposite direction. So mem looks like an N in English. You see that? I said that. In English, we normally start down here and make the letter N. But either way, if you start from the bottom up or from the top down, as long as it looks like a letter N, that's going to be your mem in Hebrew. So for our people that speak English, Spanish, or any language that uses Latin letters, it's gonna take some transition in your head to change here. So again, see how it's almost like an angle, like an N with an angle. So notice I come from this point here at the top, down, then up, and down again. Okay, so for those of you on YouTube and those of us in Discord, just keep practicing. Pull out a piece of paper and just do lines and lines. And we're only going to do these letters for this week, okay? And that'll be your homework to keep practicing. Now we have the mem sofit. This is the final mem. And so final mem is going to look like a backwards A, okay? In English, we write an A like this. Well, we're going to invert it. No pun intended, Lisa.
Okay.
Notice we started from this point at the bottom. We go up and make a full circle and then close it. And you're probably thinking, how is this easier, Louis? Trust me, there's no other pet peeve for an Israeli than to have to write out in block letters. So this is actually faster once you get the hang of it. And trust me, you'll thank me later.
Yeah, I'm just because I've done the block letters, and this is significantly easier.
And I'll tell you in the next example, I'll write it out in block and then in cursive, and you'll see the difference in speed. Okay, it kind of looks like a fish almost or something, but it's just like a backwards A. That's your mem sofit. Next letter is the letter noon. So noon is going to start right here in the middle and just come like a backwards J. So you're going to start at the middle dot line and then just come down under the line there. So that's your noon, like a backwards J. Or no, not a backwards J. It looks like a letter J, only you're coming down under the line there. So as long as it looks like something that you're seeing on the screen, you're going to be fine. It'll be legible as the letter noon. Okay, so again, this is the equivalent to your letter like A. This is the equivalent to the letter H. This is like a Y. You have an M. M. This is N, and then N. In English, these are English letters, of course. And so our final noon, which is the same letter, only this goes at the end, just like the final mem. You're going to start right in the middle, like if it was a yod, but this time, you go all the way down. You start in the middle and come all the way down. I'm so excited. I finally got to use my electronic pen here.
Yeah, very good.
And it worked correctly.
And it works now, yes. So that's your final moon, your final letter N, and then the last letter we'll look at is Tav. That's the equivalent to a letter T. And so Tav is going to start off just like the hay, okay? We're going to have that half circle, but then we're going to go back to this point here and curve it this way. Did you see that? So we're going to do a half circle. Then I'm going to come back to the top here, the top left corner, and curve it out. Okay, you seen that? You following?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How's everyone on YouTube? I can't see. Is there any questions, any confusion, any comments?
They just, Stephen just wanted to clarify, this is Hebrew script? Is that what this is called? Or
Yes,
is
so this is Hebrew handwriting. So I'm going to do an example, right? Let's say, back in the old days, Lisa, right, when we teach the elementary kids,
Yes.
let's say the word cat, right, where this is regular print, right? So these letters here are like the equivalent of the English print. And then what we're doing is the equivalent of handwriting, right? So in handwriting, it would be C-A-T, right? So what we're doing here is the equivalent of handwriting rather than printing or script. So we call it script, but it's handwriting. Yeah, it's handwriting versus printing letters or block letters.
Okay. Thank you.
So hopefully that helps out. And it's going to make sense right now. So any questions with the letters?
No. You did a great job,
so
Bruce.
now let's combine those letters with some vocabulary. So if you remember, when I very, very first taught way back when, a few months back, I introduced a 7-series lesson, and I introduced those letters plus this vocabulary. So now let's combine those. We're going to write those out. So let me show you what I mean when we're writing in block. I'm going to rewrite it just like this, okay? So if I'm writing in block, this is the pet peeve of every Israeli. Can you imagine I have to do this? Line, line,
Yeah.
line. I got to do a triangle like this.
Yeah.
It's taking like a lot of time. Right?
Yep.
Where in handwriting, this is much... I'm going to do it fast, okay? So I'm just doing this as an example, and then we'll do more practice. Take a look at this.
Okay.
Okay, it's done. Okay, so all I did was, again, so we're going to do an aleph. Remember, it's that T with the spine. Then we have a yud. Then we have a mem. And another aleph. And then you can put the nekudot if you like. And we have the word ima. Mase ima. What is ima?
Mother.
A mother. Yes, mother. Okay, so do you see that? You see how in block? So I know in seminaries they taught you how to write in block. Actually, this happened before. I visited a Hebrew class at a seminary. And they invited me to write something on the board to fill in an answer or something.
Okay.
And I wrote this way, and all the students were looking at me like, "What language is that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's Hebrew." They're like, we don't recognize those letters. And I, in my ignorance, I looked back and said, "Well, how do you write?" And so the professor started writing in block, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no way!"
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it is a lot easier.
Yeah, because it's just like in school, Lisa. Back in our day, right? They would teach us.
Cursive.
Printing up until a certain grade,
Right.
and then from like 5th or middle school forward, you were writing in cursive, right?
Exactly.
So in our day, if you were printing, it's like, okay, that tells us you only went up to, 4th grade? So same thing today, like you will, and the native Israeli will be like, okay, I can read it, but obviously you must be American or you didn't get out of 3rd grade.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so let's do it one more time. We have that backward C with the spine. That's your aleph, yud, mem, aleph, ima. Perfect. Now ani. Do we remember what ani is?
Aye.
Aye, perfect. So again, we have Aleph, and we have our Nun, and then our Yud. And then you can put the Nekudot, if you wish, underneath. Okay, so again, we have Aleph, Nun, Yud. So it's so much smoother, so much faster it goes, has just a quick rhythm to write, Ani. And I know it might be troubling at first and having to learn it, but trust me, it'll work. And we'll keep practicing. I'm not expecting everyone to learn it in one day.
Yeah, it's going to take me a little while to get used to that, my goodness.
Yeah. Next word is at. How are we doing with time? Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good. Maybe about 10 more minutes, is that all right?
Okay, so let me just I'll do the next, at least the next two, and then I'll move on to the final part, and we'll close out there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, next two words. So the next word we have is at. Aleph, and then tav. Kind of looks like a hey, but then we curl it out on the side there. What is at?
You.
You. Now, talking about gender, right? Is this female or male?
Is there a gender associated with it?
Yes, it's
really?
a female.
It's a female,
The
okay.
next word, is masculine.
Oh, yes, I recognize that. Okay. So,
Okay,
is
so
female.
remember, ata is you, masculine, and ad is the feminine. We'll do it a couple more times. We have our aleph. Oops, see, it slipped on me, but it's okay. Even if there's a little space, it's still legible and makes sense. At.
As in Baruch Atah.
Yeah, so the next one would be ata because the assumption in the grammar is that God is masculine, right? So we have the ata because the Baruch is, the whole context is masculine. The adjectives, the number, the whole sentence is masculine, so even the pronouns have to match everything else grammatically in the sentence.
Right.
Okay, ata. Wonderful. So again, we have ima, ani, at, and ata. So we'll pause there, and then in the future I'll continue with the rest of the words. But in the meantime, this is more than enough practice with the writing. So with the time we have left, we'll go into our translation parts. We have Exodus 15:2, and it reads the following. It says, Azi v'zimratia vayihi lishua. Okay? Now, is this familiar to you, Lisa, or Isaac, or Eldion?
Kind of. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go.
Words here. What is Yah?
Yeah.
That's God's name.
Yes.
Yes.
The name
Okay.
of
So
Yah.
let's work with what we know, right? So this is Yah.
Okay.
Some translators will say the Lord, and I know people have issues with that, so we'll just leave it as Yah. Let's see. Lee. What is Lee?
Lee. I don't remember what Lee is. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's like the preposition to me.
Okay.
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 Okay, do we see something here that we recognize?
Vayehi. That's in Genesis 1. I recognize that word.
Oh, Vayehi, yes.
Vayehi.
Vayehi.
Vayehi or. And there,
Yeah, so in this case, Vayehi, we have the pronoun implied he. Vayehi is to be or to become, right? The process of becoming. And then the last word at the end, besides the preposition here, what do we see here?
Yeshua.
yeah, like
Yeshua,
salvation.
right?
Yeah.
So this is the concept salvation, not the name,
Not
but
the
the
name.
concept.
Yeah.
Right? right? So when it's a concept, it has a hey. When it's Jesus' name, the hey gets dropped, and then you just have Yeshua masculine without the hey. Yeshua is feminine because it's the concept, salvation itself.
Right.
It's not that salvation is female, it's just there's a gender issue in the grammar.
Okay. So even grammar has gender issues.
Yeah, they're trying to change that, unfortunately, with Hebrew, but that's a whole nother story. That's something we should investigate, considering there's a lot of talk in the Hebrew Academy, but that's another story for another time.
Okay.
Okay, here we have the word ve, right? What is ve? We saw ve earlier.
Yeah. There's
and Zimrat from the shore Zain Mem Resh. Zimrat is a song.
Oh, okay.
So notice you all knew a lot of the words once you start breaking down, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the word azi, right? The yud at the end is my, but the personal pronoun my, and then oz is strength.
Okay.
So now we have the translation. So this is what I do every time. I pull out the Hebrew, then I break it down into the vocabulary that I'm already familiar with, right? Background knowledge, right, Lisa? When we used to teach kids, we start off, what is the background knowledge? What do we know that they know already? Yeah. And then introduce new content.
Exactly.
So you knew you had a lot of background knowledge. You had Yah, you had Vayihi, you had Li, you had Yeshua. So most of the sentence you can make out. So now our translation is, my strength and my song is Yah, and he is becoming my salvation. Right? So now go back and you look up in your own Bibles, whichever version you're using, and then match this, what we broke down, to the translation you see and see if it's comparable. So again, in plain English, it should read, the Lord is my song and has become the Lord is my strength and my song and has become my salvation.
All right.
If you have a translation, something close to what we just said, then you got a solid translation in your Bible.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is also a hymn we would sing. This is coming from the Exodus when they're leaving Egypt and they're singing as a result of crossing over into from Egypt into the promised land.
Yeah.
And this is the song they would sing. So remember last week we did the Shema. So this is the tune to help you read, right? When I read it plainly, it's Azi v'zimratia v'yinkili lishua. But music always also helps. So the song, the hymn goes like this: Azi v'zimratia v'yinkili lishua. Azi v'zimratia v'yinkili lishua. And then it repeats. Azi v'zimratia v'yinkili lishua. So there you go. Not only are you reading and translating, now you're cantilizing the words themselves, and that will help you continue to read and to memorize the words and to remember them as well. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll pause here, and I'll give it back to you, Lisa. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Luis. Right on.
All right.
Everyone's tracking with you on YouTube. That's good. Okay, am I back on? Hi, everybody. All right.
Hello.
We hope that you've all recovered from the information I shared earlier, and Luis has such an excellent Hebrew lesson there. You guys enjoy Luis's teaching. I see you guys in the comments. Great feedback. I know it's really tough learning another language. You know, it was really hard for me to actually just start learning what the Hebrew characters were like, much less put them all together and make words, right? But we wanted to do our prayer requests before we close in prayer, and there was a few that were sent in throughout the week and during our live stream tonight. So again, some of these are still from last week, but we need to, first of all, lift the Garcia family up in prayer. Zen, Justin, Joy, Eliana, Ezra. They're going to be taking a little bit of time off this upcoming month and see what it's like to travel with 2 babies, is how Justin described it. So we're keeping you guys in prayer if you guys are watching. We're also going to continue to keep Christy's finances and her situation in prayer. We've been praying for you, Christy. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat again as well. And also for Stevie and for her sister, who is dealing with some substance abuse. And we will definitely continue to lift your sister as well as your nephew up in prayer as well, Stevie. Thank you for that. Also, if you guys had tuned into Zen's live stream, Patrick, we're praying for Patrick. I'm not sure if you're here today, Patrick. I didn't see you in the chat, but if you're watching this, we're continuing to pray for your whole situation. And he mentioned in the chat that he's living in his camper and he's living near his family, but the camper has a bunch of leaking problems and he's been trying to fix it. So hopefully he's gotten in touch with Zen's ministry. If not, Patrick, please send us an email at biblicalhebrewhawaii@gmail.com and just let us know. We'll continue to pray, but there's other ways we can help you too. Noble, as you guys know, I'm not sure if all of you know, but one of the things he does is he remodels, and he's really good at fixing things. So maybe he could give you some more advice about that with the roof, because that must be horrible to have your whole roof constantly leaking. And he said he's putting buckets and there's mold. And so continue to pray for Patrick if you guys can add that to your prayer request list. Let's see. Continue to pray for the Lin Key family, Marvalee in Maui, and her mom. She would ask for us to pray for her mom's health. Her mom has been in and out of the hospital recently. She's in her 90s, and I've met her in person. She's a wonderful lady. She's just got this very energetic spirit, and we continue to pray for your family. If there's any other prayer requests, please send it to me in the chat. I didn't see anything else come in. Does anyone in Discord, besides Luis's prayer earlier for the material that I presented, does anyone else have anything you want me to add? And okay, if not, then let's go ahead and pray all together as a family. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us today. Oh, also, I wanted to mention too that with Sacred Word Publishing, if you guys are wanting to have any of their books or any of their materials, you can find it at sacredwordpublishing.com in their bookstore, and just to support their ministry. They had mentioned to me that they would really like it if more people would continue to buy their books that they're printing this year, and that will just continue to help their ministry keep going. So if you guys are looking for gifts to give loved ones, or if you just had an urge to want to read some of their awesome material that they've translated for us or that they've put out there in paper copies for us, please do so. Go take a look at their bookstore. All right, so let's close in prayer. Dear Abba, we thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for having your hands on all the tech. Even though we had a few issues earlier, we just thank you, Abba, for being there for us and for know that we can come to you in prayer at any time. Please be with Noble right now as he's speaking, and to a family that's in need of learning to know you, Abba God, as well as your son Yeshua. And we just thank you for giving us this chance to minister to that family here in the islands. Please be with all of the prayer requests that I just brought up earlier, and have your hand covering everyone watching our show today as they go about their week, and have your protection over them. And we ask you to continue keeping everyone healthy, and under the cover of the shadow of your wings we trust. And it's better to trust in you, Abba, than to put any confidence in man. We put all our trust in you, and we ask you to just bless us throughout the week. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Shalom, everybody. It's great you guys joined us today, and we will see you Tuesday, I believe. I think we'll see you guys Tuesday. If not Tuesday, for sure, we'll see you next week Saturday for Hebrew class. And Noble has a teaching prepared for you guys, and we'll most likely see you, Luis, again. We have to talk to Noble, but Luis did an awesome job. There's a lot of great feedback in the chat. So with that, shalom, everybody.
Thank you for your